These fruit are jujubes. They look like little Granny Smith apples. In 2013, at the age of 42, I decided to become an avocado farmer. I was not pursuing a passion. I was not fulfilling a lifelong dream. And I did not know the first thing about how to grow or sell these beautiful avocados. But I did know one thing. I knew that I excelled at every job I've ever had in my life. And I knew if I just did with avocados, the same thing I did with my paper route, my dishwashing job, my corporate career, that one day I would also be a successful avocado farmer. My formula for success was very simple. There were older guys in the neighborhood that were good paper boys, so I just did what they did. When I started as a dishwasher at the local restaurant, there were guys that were good at it, so I just did what they did. And then when I got into the software business, no matter what my job was, engineer, developer, salesman, manager, I found the guys that were the best at those jobs, and I just did what they did. And that's exactly what I did in 2013. I sought out the experts. I sought out the best in the avocado business. I asked them questions. When they were talking, I shut my mouth, paid attention, listened, and learned. When they were out here working, I worked side by side with them, watched what they did. If I was confused, I asked questions. And by seeking advice, by following that advice, by observing and asking the right people the right questions, I was able to grow what started as a 5-acre avocado business to a 30-acre tropical fruit business. And I ain't telling you this to brag because I don't care what people think of me. I don't need people to look up and admire me. And frankly, this is the internet. People are going to go make nasty comments about me anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm telling you this because I just wanted to tell my story to maybe inspire some people that are at a crossroads in their career, people who maybe feel like they've settled and they're capable of something different, something more, pursuing something they always wanted to do. To them, I say, go for it. Go for it, but don't go for it recklessly. Make a plan. Look at this beautiful Monroe avocado just hiding here in the leaves. I'll come back and get that later. One of my goals for the year 2011 was to come up with a plan for my future. What am I going to do so that if during the next layoff my name lands on the list, I'll be safe? And I went through a formal planning process. I allocated 90 minutes every Friday. Once a week, I spent 90 minutes with paper, with pen, writing out options, brainstorming, thinking of things I want to do, over on the laptop with Excel, running calculations. Of all the options I came up with, farming made the most sense because you actually live on your farm. So if you're at least breaking even, you're paying your mortgage. You're not at risk of losing your house. You're not at risk of putting your family out on the streets. Then after running a bunch more numbers using very conservative figures, I determined that an avocado farm would be my safest bet. Then came 2012. The focus was execution. How am I going to attain my goal? And step one was to start looking at properties and familiarizing myself. We got a realtor who is in the agriculture business herself, became familiar with the options, the prices, the neighborhood, the type of workers that are available. Then the day finally came. We drove down this long dirt road. We pushed open this gate and took a look at what was to become Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. Check it out. This is another tropical fruit we grow called Monstera deliciosa. One of the sweetest fruits you'll ever bite into. So we bought the farm in 2013, but I did not leave my job. I hired out most of the work and began my education process. But I also put together a 5-year transition plan. By 2018, I wanted to be out of the corporate world and completely 100% into tropical fruit farming. Behind me here, these are mango flowers, and oh my God, I don't know if the camera will show it, but I'm just seeing the first little fruit. This little green dot right here at the end of my tool, that is a teeny tiny fertilized female flower that hopefully will mature into a full-grown mango. So I made my little 5-year transition plan. I said, I'm going to learn the agriculture business. I'm going to start to rehabilitate and build up this grove. It was already in really good shape, but I wanted to do some things and make some moves so I could make some more money off of it. I knew I was going to develop a network. I knew I was going to meet people. I knew I was going to meet the best people in the industry and learn from them. But I also wanted to build up a huge reserve because businesses fail. Businesses face hardship. Heck, even if your business is doing good, sometimes we face unforeseen circumstances like health emergencies. So again, I ran numbers and I came up with a target number that I needed to save or have in investments, plus the revenue I'd be making from the farm that I knew I could live out the rest of my life. That had to include contingencies for things like hurricanes or bad crops, unforeseen circumstances, and big expenses like tuition in case my son wanted to go to college. And I determined that by 2018, I would hit that number. Fast forward 2 years, it's 2015. The division I'm working for gets bought out by a competitor. They offer me a job, they give me a sign-on bonus, and then 2 weeks later, they send me an email that I'm being laid off. And I said, you know what? We're good. I'm gone. I'll take the package. Well, don't you want to try to find another job within the company? Nope, I'm good. Well, you realize you have a non-compete, you're not going to be able to go work for the competition. I know, I'm good. Well, what are you going to do? I'm going to become an avocado farmer. They'd laugh at me. And the reason they laughed is because they didn't know the other side of the equation, that I had been preparing for this moment since 2010. I've been expecting to get laid off. I've been making investments. I've been living well below my needs. I bought a farm so that I could at least guarantee my mortgage, taxes, and homeowner's insurance would be covered. I would not have to go homeless. I could take a job doing anything. This tree is called a jujube. These fruit are jujubes. They look like little Granny Smith apples. And when they kind of yellow like this, they're ripe. Yes. So fall of 2017, Hurricane Irma destroys our entire crop. No income in 2017, no income in 2018, plus the expense of standing up all the trees and rebuilding our business all over again from scratch. 2019 rolls around, our grove is back. The trees are back, the leaves are back, they're producing avocados. We have a very good year in 2019. We roll into 2020, things are going great, we're having a great season. November 2020, house fire. Our house light's on fire. And I'm looking, I see my entire wall, my ceiling, I'm just in a giant fire. And I just sat there and I thought to myself, wow, this is what it's like to watch your house burn down. And oh, by the way, that was during the lockdown, so it was practically impossible to get things like permits and building supplies. And about 3 months into that hotel stay, my wife got one of the cases of COVID that required hospitalization. For 2 years, she couldn't, well, like maybe 19, 20 months, she couldn't even get out of bed. It was a struggle for her to go from her bed to the toilet. Unforeseen circumstance number 2. Hurricane Irma was number 1. Fire and my wife getting sick was number 2. But we had enough fat built into our plan. We had built up the Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm business to the point that we were able to weather that as well. I'm standing under a tree that produces a delicious tropical fruit called mamey. Now look at this. Everything else I've shown you, avocados, mangoes, starfruit, they're colorful, they're bright, they're juicy. You know when you bite into it, it's gonna taste good. This thing looks like a giant seed pod or even a football. And if it was ripe, I'd cut it open and show you, but it has the most beautiful pink, salmon-colored flesh, and you just eat it right out of the skin like pudding. It is so delicious. And by the way, this I'm selling right now at our website, guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. But the fruit we are most known for are these delicious, beautiful avocados. We've been fortunate to attract a customer base who are the kindest, nicest, friendliest people you ever want to meet in your life. When I'm out here picking to fill their orders, I feel like they're here with me. But developing an avocado market is kind of easy. You might call it low-hanging fruit. Everybody knows what an avocado is. But mamey, on the other hand, unless you're from the Caribbean or South Florida, it's likely you never heard of it. I've got 2 customer profiles for mamey. One are people who grew up eating it, but now live somewhere it doesn't grow, and they are thrilled to death that they can go to my website, guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com, and buy mamey. The second customer profile are viewers just like you, people who trust me, people who said, well, that thing looks weird and I never ate one before, but heck, if Tom likes it, maybe I'll give it a go. And most of the people who tried Mame for the first time got back to me and said, oh my God, that was incredible. I want to order another box. So if you're one of those people who believes your job is not secure, and I hope you are, because nobody's job is secure, and you're thinking of starting to work on a plan B, I hope the things I told you in this video today were helpful. And if you're an avocado lover, a mango lover, or you want to try something new like Mame, I hope you go to guacfarm.com and buy yourself a box. guacfarm.com. Now me, it's getting toward 3 o'clock. I gotta run to Wawa, get some cheesesteaks, get back home in time to see the Eagles beat Washington. While I do that, you go to guacfarm.com and I will see you on the next video.